Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us and thanks for staying with us. My name is Tasneem Hussain, and this presentation is about complying with drug listing requirements. So by the end of this presentation, hopefully you'll be able to describe drug listing requirements under 21 CFR 207, identify some common listing issues, explain the compliance program and listing deficiency letter highlights, and describe effects of non-compliance. So we will start with where drug listing requirements are found. They are found under Section 510 of the FD&C Act and codified under 21 CFR Part 207, Subpart D. We will briefly go over what these sections contain. 207.4.1 includes who must list and what drugs must be listed. So each registrant must list each drug that it manufactures, repacks, relabels, or salvages for commercial distribution. Remember, the registrants are required to follow the requirements under 207.4.9, 207.5.3, 207.5.4, depending on the activity that they engage in. Remember, private label distributor listings must be listed, as well as contract manufacturer listings. The contract manufacturer is ultimately responsible for making sure 2 drug listings are submitted for each product that they are listing. So drug listing requirements. 207.4.5. When must the listing information be submitted? It's no later than 3 calendar days after the initial registration of the establishment. 207.4.9 includes the manufacturer's requirements. 207.5.3 includes repackager and relabeler requirements. And remember here, for repackager and relabelers, it's very important to make sure that the repackager and relabeler is using the correct NDCs in the appropriate section of the listing submission. So in the house supplies section and in the label image, the repackager must have the repackager's NDC, not the NDC of the source. 207.5.4 includes drug salvager requirements. So when must listing information be updated? This has been discussed in other presentations, but it's important, so please review 207.5.7. Firms must at least send in updates in June and December each year. We request that updates are submitted as soon as possible, however. Firms can use the blanket no change certification SPL, which is available October to December each year, to certify a whole bunch or all of their listings in one form if no changes have occurred to the listing data. So where is the listing data found? It's in the National Drug Code Directory, or the NDC directory. The listing data that's submitted to FDA by the labelers is included in the National Drug Code Directory. It includes active products, finished and unfinished products also. The listing data is removed from the NDC directory if an end marketing date has reached, if there's a compliance case that is not resolved, if the listing information has not been updated or certified, and the NDC directory is updated daily, Monday through Friday. Here are some of the common listing issues we encounter. All of these are required elements in a listing submission, and errors with any of these can lead to compliance actions. So some of the issues we see are incorrect or missing DEA schedule, incorrect NDC, incorrect marketing category or document type, incorrect marketing authorization, meaning they can have an incorrect application number or monograph ID. There may be labeling issues such as incomplete labeling or outdated labeling. There may be strength or strength conversion issues. Strength is a very common error, and we have a strength conversion document in our compliance page, which can assist firms in understanding how to convert from a percent to a weight over volume or weight over weight. And this explains how different dosage forms should be listed. And we have a link for that coming up later. So now we can discuss about our compliance program. Our program started in 2015 with a mission to protect and promote public health by striving to achieve accuracy and integrity of the establishment registration and listing data. We have 4 phases of compliance actions that we follow. So first is the review of data. We review the data to find data inaccuracies. Then we send the firm a deficiency letter where we highlight the deficiency and give the firm 30 days to correct it. If they don't correct it, then we go through the next phase, which is data removal. And the data will be removed from the NDC directory. And then if the issue is still not resolved, then we take further actions such as possible untitled letters, warning letters, and data inactivation. These are some important points to highlight about the deficiency letters. The deficiency we identify is clearly stated in the first paragraph and in the summary table. Next, it states that the firm has 30 days to make the corrections. Next point to note is non-delivery of the letter does not stop the process, meaning that if the firm does not update the contact information, this will not relieve the firm from its listing obligations. There's a requirement to update, and this is found under 207.33C. Further actions may be taken, as you know, data removal, untitled letter, warning letter, and data inactivation. And also note that at the last part of this deficiency letter, there are specific instructions on how to send an updated SPL file. Complying with listing requirements can be easy if you read and follow the requirements under 21 CFR 207, if you read the deficiency letter and follow the instructions, if you need to revise the file with the corrections and you encounter validation errors, at that time, please send an email to our office and send us the core ID or the submission ID for review and approval. And once we check for accuracy, we will request a manual override from the SPL coordinator when a compliance case has been open. If there is no compliance case and you are updating some listings and you encounter some validation errors that need a manual override, in that situation, at that point, you can request an override from the SPL coordinator. These are some reasons why having an accurate listing data is important and why you must comply with listing requirements. Accurate listing data is needed for post-marketing surveillance. It helps with recalls and shortages when they occur to identify products that are listed and available in the market. It helps with adverse event reporting, supply chain security, helps to identify unapproved products in the market. It's used by import-export offices. It's used by prescribers. And this listing data is available for the public to access via the NDC directory and several other public databases. And here are some effects of non-compliance. Public safety concerns, medication errors, data removal from the NDC directory, publication of warning letters, data inactivation. There may be CMS reimbursement issues, and there may be importation issues. So we have come to our first challenge question. This is a true or false question. So incomplete or outdated labeling is a type of listing issue. Is this true or false? We'll give you a few moments to think. So the answer to challenge question 1 is true. Labeling is required to be submitted as part of the drug listing requirements. Thus, it must be complete and current. Challenge question 2. Select the true statement about the NDC directory. A. FDA publishes the drug listing information in the NDC directory. B. The NDC directory is updated once a week. C. The NDC directory contains inactivated data. D. All of these are true statements. And we'll give you a few moments to think of this one. The answer is A. Only A is the correct choice. FDA publishes the listing data in the NDC directory. Here is our final challenge question. How can you ensure compliance with listing requirements? A. Follow 21 CFR 207. B. Read and follow the deficiency letter and respond within 30 days. C. First send drug registration and listing branch the submission ID or the core ID of the failed submission for review and approval of the manual override. D. All of the above. We'll give you a few moments to think of the answer. Answer is D. All of the above. So in summary, To maintain compliance with listing requirements, you must follow the requirements under 207. You must follow the instructions in the deficiency letter, update outdated contact information. Remember that non-compliance can have negative consequences, and listing data is so important for FDA's mission. As a closing thought, avoid issues by submitting the drug listing correctly the first time. So this is the resources page with the links to 21 CFR 207, the NDC directory, and our drug registration and listing compliance program. And this is the page that includes the strength conversion document. Thank you for joining us once again. And if you have any questions, please let us know.